protection. Right, Smudge?
Very not true.
It's all completely true, and you know it. That way, in case something happens to this copy, you'll have that copy.
Yeah.
With video backup.
And as I told you, I want to be able to have people's voices on record, so...
That's right.
Like, when someone else is gone, their voice isn't gone, it's still there on the video.
I like that. That's why I'm doing this. That's good, huh? It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple of topics to cover. Thanks for doing this, by the way. You're the first one to do a full interview, and you also contributed to the your dad, Lou, and Chris little things we're doing.
Little tidbits.
Yes. So let's talk sports.
Okay, well, as anyone knows here in Sacramento, we got the Kings in 1985. Greg Lukenbill bought them from Kansas City and brought them to Sacramento. The Kings weren't originally the Sacramento Kings. They were the first. They were the Cincinnati Royals.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it Rochester or Cincinnati?
Cincinnati, Rochester.
No, I thought it was. Which
Well,
was first? Rochester's in New York.
I think it was Rochester first, and they became the Cincinnati Royals.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. And then they moved from Cincinnati, and they became the Kansas City Kings. And then the Lukenbills bought them from Kansas City, brought them to Sacramento in 1985. In 1985, we had Arc Arena Part 1, and it only held about, 10,000 fans?
Yes.
It had about 10,000, I think 10,500. That was a small arena for the Kings. They practiced at American River College.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I found that video on YouTube. They practiced at American River College, and the college basketball court was sold out for the Kings, and they...
For what? To watch practice? Did you make
Yeah,
that up, or is that real?
Yeah, it's real.
Really?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can look it up.
They actually charged admission to watch the Kings practice?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So that's on YouTube. So the Kings would have games at Arc Arena 1, and before they even had a practice facility, they practiced at ARC. Then when they finally got that practice facility after the Maloofs bought the Kings off Jim Thomas, they built that practice facility, and the Kings would practice right by Arc Arena Part 2, which is now the debunked Sleep Train Arena. Well, the quiet, the quiet, dark Sleep Train Arena, which now the Kings are in the Golden One Center downtown.
I think you meant defunct.
Defunct.
That's what it confused me too. I'm thinking defunct. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry. I just looked really confused because I get confused about your word choice.
Okay, well, the Kings moved from, as you said, the defunct Arc Arena, Sleep Train Arena, Power Balance, into the Golden One Center.
Let's do a quick list of best to worst names for that arena. Starting with the worst, ending with the best. What do you think is the worst name that arena had?
Power Balance.
I agree. Second worst.
Sleep Train.
Okay, and then the least worst.
Arco Arena.
Is it just because Arco Arena just goes together better?
Yeah.
That doesn't say Sleep Train is a dumb name for a mattress store.
Yeah, and Arco was AM/PM. AM/PM became... Arco was AM/PM, then...
Uncle Tony drove for Arco.
I know. And then Arco went from Arco to AM/PM. You can still find those same gas tanks around some of the AM/PMs, like closer out of town, but...
Okay. Let's go back to the history of the Kings.
Okay, the Kings moved from Kansas City in 1985. They made their first playoffs in 1999 playing the Utah Jazz. Then the year after that, they played the Los Angeles Lakers in the first round and got blown out. The Kings We're still a young team, but
No. Again, 99, they lost to Utah. They were the 6th seed.
that's what I
That was
said.
the beginning of when they got. Did you already say that?
Yeah,
Okay.
they lost to the Utah Jazz.
And then they got. Yeah, they took them to 5 games back when the first round was actually 5 games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was when the Field of Roar towels came out. So the Kings had the Field of Roar towels out, and Sacramento was like all hyped up and ready with the Kings, and the Kings took the Utah Jazz to 5 games, as you said, and then we lost to the Lakers the very next year. But 2001-02 was a whole different story with Weber and company with Vlade, and we took the Lakers to 7 games. But had that game taken us to the NBA Finals, the refs wouldn't have done what they did.
We would have won those finals too because they would have played a really, really lame Nets team.
And we would have won that game
easy, probably in 4 or 5, right?
Yeah, we would have. I would have said we would have went 3-0 in that series.
Well, no, you got to win 4 out of 7.
Okay, well we would have went 4-0 in that series, but look what the Lakers did in that year. They beat the Nets in the finals 4-0, and the Nets weren't even a challenge. I don't know how the Nets even got to the finals being a weak team like that in the East.
I agree. Okay, now how about your photography?
I started doing photography after my dad handed me the camera, and I started taking pictures at Uncle Ted's house with this black Kodak camera that didn't work very good. I got it at Walmart for like $13.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a small,
Was it an SLR camera with the actual lenses and everything, or just a regular point and shoot camera?
irregular like point shoot.
Mm.
It had the thing, the thing you could take out of and load it up. You know the thing that all cameras have where you open the slot up and then you pull the chip card out.
Oh, it was one of those. It was an actual. It was a digital SLR, or a digital camera.
Yeah, but it was a really weak one,
Okay,
a weak pixel camera.
I see.
Yeah, so then I got a red Nikon, which had an orange flash on it, but that camera does no longer work. It does take batteries, so I can put batteries in it, but I don't really use it. I use a Nikon D3000 now, and I've been taking pictures since I was maybe like 15, 16 years old, and I've just gotten better at it every year. And one day I just want to be able to do something to get paid for my photography with and show people that I can get my business started being a photographer. Right now, I'm just an amateur photographer, and I've been doing that since I was 15, 16 years old.
That's really cool. Yeah, so you'd actually want to have it as a professional career someday.
Yeah, someday.
You've talked about taking classes?
Yeah, I've talked about taking classes. I signed up.
Are you thinking of doing it still, or what do you
I
think?
signed up for classes at Winterstein, but that didn't work. I tried it twice, and there were not enough people in the class. Then I went to the other campus out in Sunrise, and there weren't enough people. So I was just like, all right, well, can't do that. So I just stuck to taking pictures and putting pictures online on Facebook and Instagram, and you could see all my photos on Facebook and all my albums. I have like Sac State, I have Cal Expo. I don't have any of AT&T Park yet. I have Rayleigh
Oh,
Field.
you haven't been there yet, have you?
No, not yet.
AT&T's good. We got to go.
I have Rayleigh
It's
Field.
kind of an all-day deal. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Real tiring. You take the ferry over. That's what we do usually once a year. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I have Rayleigh Field, Sac State, Cal Expo. I have parts of Slate Trent Arena. I have Arc Arena.
You've been to Golden One Center.
Yeah,
You guys went there. You had season tickets a year ago, over a year ago. For
yeah,
the first season, huh?
yeah. We had half season,
Mhm.
and when they charged us like another
Boatload of money.
like $1,300 for 4 seats.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, we just were like, well, not doing it because it's too expensive for 4 seats.
So, $1,300 for 4 seats for
For me, my mom, and Matthew, which is actually 3
about
seats.
14 wins that you get to watch.
Yeah,
Because they win about 14 at home.
yeah.
Yeah, they're not very good.
Yeah,
Jacob would say the Kings are the opposite of good.
he'd say they're bad.
The opposite of good. It's less negative.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what else?
I grew up watching the 49ers. I've been a 49er fan my whole life. I have never gone to a 49er game either at Candlestick or Levi Stadium. I've always wanted to go. I've been to plenty of Fresno State games, plenty of Sac State football games, but I've never been to an actual NFL football game, and I'd like to do that someday.
I've only been to one.
Well, I want to go to a 49er game, maybe 49ers versus Packers or 49ers versus Cowboys or.
You should. You should go to that museum with me sometime. The museum's really cool.
Yeah,
You want to go?
sure.
All right.
As I said, I grew up watching sports as a person. I grew up watching the 49ers, watching the Kings, watching the Giants. We never had Major League Baseball here in Sacramento. We still don't. We have the minor league River Cats, which are what would you say, the teen club of the Giants. The Giants are the parent club.
Yeah, they're the AAA team.
Yeah,
So they're the last stop before you go to the major leagues.
yeah. So I've been to some River Cats games with other fan members. I worked for the ALS as just a volunteer. I've been doing also volunteer work for Happy Tales for 7 years, almost 8 years, and I'm just now getting back into horseback riding because I love horses, and horses have always been my favorite. That's why I've always gone to the thoroughbred races at Cal Expo. I've gone to Golden Gate. I've gone to harness races at Cal Expo. But I've never been to like Bay Meadows. I've never been to like Pleasanton or Santa Rosa Fair or Fresno. Well, the Fresno Fair, Big Fresno Fair. But Bay Meadows is gone now. But I'd like to go to like Pleasanton, Santa Rosa, Fresno, because I've been to Kalispell my whole life, and I know what Kalispell's like.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. All right. So, anything else you want to cover?
Should we do a cover on Sac State football?
Nah, I think we did. We did enough sports.
How about prime locations in the Sacramento area?
Nah. I mean, I kind of wanted to get more personal stuff with you. I mean, I know you have opinions about all these other things, but you talked about